Welcome back to another Spirit Island video. In this video, we're going to be continuing our series on Is This Spirit for You? In this video, we're going to be focusing on river, surges, and sunlight. Now, we are also going to cover river's three aspects: sunshine, travel, and haven. But first, let's look at river. So, setup. River is going to start with one presence on your starting board in the highest number wetland. The playstyle, it says while capable of some direct offense, river surges in sunlight is best at flooding out explorers and towns, displacing them from lands where they might build or ravage. The ability to get free sacred sites makes a wide range of powers more useful. Now, it is kind of interesting to see the playstyles written for some of the very first spirits ever created back in, I think, was it 08? Or no, 18 and 19. Because as you guys just saw in my previous videos, a lot of the Nature Incarnate playstyle and setup is very intricate and very written in depth. So looking at the complexity, it's a very low complex spirit. It has quite a lot of offense, a lot of control, very little fear, defense, and a lot of utility. Flipping the board over, we have a special rule called River's Domain. It says your presence in wetlands count as sacred sites. So if I have a presence here on board C, if it's in this wetlands, it's a sacred site. Otherwise, it's not. And that allows you to have, I guess, spread your presence out further. Because if you have a presence here in C5, it's a sacred site, and that can cover most of your board. So maybe you can grow onto another board, getting a sacred site over there. River is a 0-1, and that means it's not placing presence on reclaim, placing 2 presence, and then placing 1 presence. It has a power card gain and 1 energy, and then it has a growth option that places a presence and gains a power card. Your tracks end at 5/5, and you have a single reclaim 1. If this is a spirit that was redone, it would probably have multiple flex elements in here somewhere, so that it wouldn't have so many dead spaces like here, here, here. Now, River is one of those spirits that was one of the very first spirits, and as a result, it only has one viable build. Well, I shouldn't say viable, but one build that is way stronger than the rest, and that is rushing down pure bottom track. And yes, you heard that right. I wouldn't even pick this top 2 energy energy spot. And the reason for that is if you play your 4 cards, you're going to have your Maxinate here, and you can reclaim loop that with the 1 energy here, the energy here, and the energy you get from River's Bounty. Looking at the innate, we have massive flooding. It's 1 range from a sacred site, and that's really important. Having those sacred sites in specific lands such that you can utilize this innate, and that's why your special rule can come into play. The first tier pushes a single building or explorer. The second tier does 2 damage and then lets you push 3. And then finally, the final tier allows you to do 2 damage to each invader in a land. And this final tier of the innate allows you to completely wipe out a land. Looking at your power cards here, you have Flash Floods, which is a 2 energy, sun, water, fast power with 1 range, 1 damage, and then if the land is coastal, an additional damage. Wash Away is a 1 energy slow, water, earth, 1 range. You get to push 3 things. Boon of Vigor, it's a 0 cost sun, water, plant. Target a spirit. If you target yourself, gain an energy. If you target another spirit, they gain 1 energy per power card they played this turn. And finally, River's Bounty is 0 cost sun, water, animal. Slow power, range 0, gathering 2 Dahan. If there is at least 2 Dahan, add a Dahan and gain energy. A very interesting set of cards. You have an offensive card, a control card, and then 2 utility cards, and a little bit of control here. Now let's look at the 3 aspects. Actually, before we look at the aspects, so I think this summary of powers is quite accurate. If you're a player that likes a high control spirit that has an offensive tool, like Flash Floods plus Massive Flooding, this is going to be the spirit for you. A lot of your games are going to be using Wash Away and your first tier of your innate to huddle all of the invaders into a couple lands, and then you're going to use your high tier massive flooding plus flash floods to completely destroy them. As well, you'll be using Boon of Vigor to give out support, and then River's Bounty to make Dahan, and then possibly get favorable counterattacks. So if that's the type of game style you like, you're going to like this spirit. If you like majors, this is not a spirit to play. A lot of the major power builds are just not very strong. Really, you want to rush down bottom track. So if you like playing a lot of minors, if you like reclaim looping, this is a spirit that you're going to like. Okay, let's look at the aspects now. We have Sunshine. This is going to forget a power card. You get to start with an energy, and it says Boon of Sunshine Promise. You start with an extra innate. It's a fast power, target another spirit. Target spirit gains energy equal to less than the highest uncovered number on your energy track. If you have the second threshold, you also gain that much energy. And then if you have the third threshold, you may remove a blight from one of their lands. Um, I'm going to be honest and tell you to never play this card. This card is so bad. Like, this is probably one of the worst aspects in the entire game. Um, just I don't know how much I want to really dive into this, but um, forgetting a power card just hurts these spirits' economics so greatly. And then this aspect wants you to push along top track, but if you push high along top track, it's very hard to reach high levels on your bottom track, which is where this spirit wants to be for massive flooding. So it's a aspect that makes you not want to use your massive flooding tiers, and you also lose a card. So, um, I mean, I wouldn't even like recommend this if you were going to be playing major powers, because there is a major power build for River. Um, and I think this just is actually like playing Sunshine to do majors. I think it's just worse than just playing base with majors. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Okay, looking at the next aspect, we have Travel River. It replaces the river's domain special role, and that is over here. So you lose that special role, and it says travel on the river's back. After growth, choose up to 2 Dahan among your lands. Move each of them to any connected presence. So if I have a several presents like this, I can move any of the Dahan across. Well, I can move up to 2 Dahan across my connected lands every turn. And this is during the growth phase, and I love this. It adds a little bit of extra complexity, but it creates so many flexible options. Now you also get people tend to the river tends to the people. It says in a land with 4 more Dahan, it's considered a sacred site, and you gain defend 1. So it allows for some very interesting tactics and allows you to create those mobile sacred sites. And it's very fun when you combined it with River's Bounty to make a sacred site in the slow, such that you could use your massive flooding in the slow. Um, just like how I mentioned, Sunshine is a complete nerf to base River. I actually think Travel River is a strict upgrade. And like I said earlier, I don't really like talking about power level so much, and I won't talk about it for the Haven aspect, but I will for Travel, because Travel's been around for a long time. This is, if you like playing River, this is a spirit, or this is an aspect that you should just pick up. Travel River just is exactly like base River, except you get more tools and you get more decisions. Um, so it just makes your games a lot more interesting. Okay, looking at the final aspect, we have River Haven, and this is the new aspect coming in the Nature Incarnate expansion, and probably the reason why you clicked this video. Um, so this is going to replace your massive flooding, which does it's actually very interesting, because the massive flooding is one of the reasons why River is so powerful, or why I rank River so high. So when you get rid of that, Haven needs to kind of replace that if you want it to be the same strength. So what does it do? It says Call to the Sunlit Haven. It's a fast power, sacred site, range 0. E is the highest uncovered number on your energy track. And every turn, you may, if you have the threshold, you get to defend E. In an adjacent land with your presence, defend E. So this allows your defend to hit 2 lands. In target land or an adjacent land, or in target land or an adjacent land with your presence, gather up to E Dahan. And then finally, remove up to E health worth of invaders. And of course, all of this would occur in the target land or within the targeting restrictions on the threshold here. So remember, E is the highest uncovered number on your energy track. So if I have 3, that means my E is 3, which means I'm gaining 3 energy, but I also have, this is going to be defend 3, and this would be defend 3 and an adjacent land. This would be a gather 3, and this would allow me to remove 3 health in the fast. Um, this is an aspect that I actually play tested um, quite a lot. Really, I played a ton of this aspect right when it was first showcased us. We ended up it was too strong at first. We then toned it back, and I think it's in a really good spot now. Um, and then they never touched it again. I really like it. I mean, as you guys can imagine, I am a defensive player. I love River, so this is probably something that's right up my alley. This aspect is going to change River completely different. It's going to make River completely different. You're going to be focusing more on defense, Dahan movement, and less on control and offense. So these bars would definitely, this bar would go up. This bar would probably go down a little bit, and this bar would probably go down just slightly. Um, and one of the things that I really like about this aspect is it creates a haven. Like think of it like a little an area of presence because you're going to want to spread your presence out on your board such that you can kind of create this area or like this safe space for the Dahan and such that you're able to utilize this innate because remember you need a target from a sacred site. So creating sacred sites is actually something you need to think about a lot with this aspect. I also like how this aspect forces the player to go top track a little bit, and because the thresholds are very generous, you don't need many plays on the spirit. It also allows the spirit to play majors a lot easier than the other version, just because this defensive ability tends to be, I shouldn't say stronger than massive flooding, but the defensive ability just flows better with those major powers because you can end up getting that second play and then you can play like one of your cards, hit the defend, and then play your major, something like that. If you like this video, like, subscribe for more content. I'll be going through the remaining spirits and the nature incarnate aspects in later videos. I'll see you guys in the next video.